Hello, my wonderful friends. Megan's with you on just a beautiful day in Oshia, and I'm so excited. We're going to start a whole new series, and today's message I'm going to entitle The Archetypes, the Collective Unconscious, and Tarot. And I got to bring up one of my all-time favorite books, Carl Jung, and this is The Archetypes and the Collective Unconscious. And Carl Jung said that the tarot is a pictorial representation of the archetypes of transformation. That is quite high praise coming from such a man of genius. When you think of psychiatry, you think of Jung and you think of Freud. And so when he gives high praise to the tarot and its ability for inner healing, it's saying something. He also said that we are not born a clean slate. We are born with the archetypes of the collective unconscious sleeping in our central nervous system. And all throughout times, my friend, in every society, you find the fool, you find the holy man, the lovers, you have a shadow figure, a trickster, a giver, a taker, the devil and death. And you may think that the tarot is just a deck of cards, but they are much more. They are a book of wisdom. It's the wise sage who reflects yourself back to yourself, and it's meant to be used for spiritual advancement and evolution. And you'll see with Carl Jung, he used pictures and mandalas to open up the unconscious. And the idea behind it is that what's inside will eventually come out. And so it's good that we deal with those things, but it's not always easy or comfortable to deal with those things. But we can't really afford not to look at them. We need to know ourselves. And listen to how beautifully he put this. Let me read this. My friends, stay with me. This will literally change your life, your future, your outcome. As a matter of fact, I was going to start here, but I'm going to start at the back here, kind of what he wrapped it up with, just so you see why you want to stay and listen to this first part. But it says that the thought we shall think, the deed we shall do, even the fate that we lament tomorrow, it all lies unconscious in our today. My friends, the thoughts and words you're going to speak, the things you're going to do, your future is laying right now inside your unconscious. And so isn't it so important that we look at that unconscious, and if we need to make some adjustments, that we do it now before that we're lamenting our future and our fate. So listen to how beautifully he puts this. He is a poet for sure. It says, whoever goes to himself risk a confrontation with himself, because the mirror does not flatter. It faithfully shows whatever looks into it, namely the face we never show to the world because we cover it up with a persona. We like to project to the world an image that might not be what's truly inside of us. And are we brave enough to look inside of us at what's really going on? It goes on to say, it's the mask of the actor, but the mirror lies behind the mask and shows the true face. He says the confrontation is the first test of courage on the inner way. That is so beautiful. It's an inner way. It's a healing that takes place inside. And when we heal our inner world, then it heals our outer world. A test sufficient to frighten off most people. Most people won't do this work until one day they're at the end of their life and they're just crying over it. Why is the world so cruel? Why has everything gone so wrong in my life? And it's because they didn't go inside. They didn't make the adjustments inside to change the outside world. It says, for the meeting with ourselves belong to the more unpleasant things that can be avoided so long as we can project everything negative into the environment. So don't you see that's what happens? Everyone else is mean and evil and wrong and bad, and it's not me, it's them, it's that. But my friends, everything outward is coming from the inside, if we can just change our inner self. And you might be thinking, well, I don't understand. How does that work? Think about this for a minute. If you put a smile on your face and love in your heart and go out into the world, people are going to reflect that to you. They're going to smile back to you. If you tell someone a loving, kind word of praise, they're not going to say, get out of my face, asshole. They're going to give that same love and peace and beauty back to you. It's a mirror. But if you go out and you got a sour look on your face and you're saying negative, hurtful words, and you can't figure out why you don't have your perfect soulmate yet, it's because you're holding them away from you by what's inside. There might be hurts inside. Maybe you've been hurt by situations in life that need to be healed. You need to forgive. You need to forgive others. You need to forgive yourself. And you have to go inside. We've talked about this before. That even passed down through the generations in your family line or things you might have through your DNA, an anger issue that needs to be dealt with. And instead of just dealing with it like Grandpa did, how Mom and Dad did, you're going to do something different. You're going to do the hard work, look at it, admit there's a problem there, and make that change. Okay, then he goes on to say, but if we are able to see our own shadow and can bear knowing about it, and that's the problem, people don't want to know there's anything wrong with them, it's all out there, then a small part of the problem has already been solved. We have at least brought up the personal unconscious. The shadow is a living part of the personality and therefore wants to live with it in some form. My friends, isn't that it? We talk about this here. We're Zoroastrian Order of the Magi. We talk about this all the time. When the spiritual world is made straight, the material world is brought in to order. And that's what we're going to learn with these tarot decks in this series. And my friends, I'm going to ask you, respect your deck. You're going to find that you're going to build a real connection with it. I love my deck of cards. I got this nice, beautiful purple velvet case that I keep it in, and they mean something to me. I give them respect, and I see a lot of people, they abuse their deck and then it shuts down. They don't make that connection with it. They want to try to just get yes and no answers, and there's a way you can do that. I don't think it works. I mean, it'll work 50% of the time, I guess, but you can ask the deck a question. Will I get this job? Will love come into my life today? And if you pull a card and it's upright, it's yes. If it's inverted, the answer is no. My friends, that's not how this is meant to be used. Let me show you how it's meant to be used and how you'll connect with the deck, and you respect it and it will respect you. Instead of asking, will my lover come today, yes or no, say, what walls have I built up against love? What can I do or change about myself to attract the perfect mate? Do you see the difference there, where inner healing takes place? Learning to pose a question that way, my friends, again, you're halfway there. The change has already begun. And speaking of change here, our first card we're going to use out of the major arcana is the Fool card, and it's the Zero card. And the reason it's the Zero card is because he's represented in every card in the deck because he is you. And he's not a fool as in an idiot, but naive, just on a new journey, and not street smart yet, not knowing what to expect. And here at the Order of the Magi, we're starting this journey all over again. We have Sirius right now aligned with the earth, and this is kind of our high holiday. And there's been a death and now a rebirth for us. And as a matter of fact, today, for my message from the universe, I pulled a card. It was the Death card. It was the death and the rebirth. So beautiful. But this is our card right here. This is the Fool card. And this is the very first card of the 78 cards of tarot. There's 22 major arcana and there's 56 minor arcana. The 22 major are the major secrets, and then there's the lesser secrets. And our Fool takes us through this journey where we look at all these different archetypes and situations, and we go inside and look at ourselves, and we discover ourselves. We're going to truly know ourselves, and by the end of this series, you will be a new person, a better person, and creating and manifesting a beautiful new life. So, my friends, I think what we'll do is we'll head back into the castle and we'll pull a card. It starts with the Magician, which obviously I love, is the first card, the number 1 card, and then we'll start working our way through the series. So if you haven't already, please subscribe, hit the bell notification. If you enjoyed this, please share it with someone and they can go on the journey with us. I love you guys.